Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to me about Bitcoin. And the context here is Marty Bent, which many people in the Bitcoin community will know, used to work at Barstool, and he red pilled a good number of people at Barstool. You
Yes.
were one of them. So tell us kind of like, what was the first time you ever heard of Bitcoin? What were those conversations like Marty like as well?
Well, first of all, you're the first person to ever say, tell me what you think about Bitcoin, because I'm used to people saying, Caleb, shut up about Bitcoin. Caleb, shut up. We don't care. We get it. We know. Um, so Marty was hired at Barstool. We called him, I know him as Bitcoin Marty. You know him as Marcus Dent. I know him as Bitcoin Marty. Bitcoin Marty got hired at Barstool literally as he had like some type of fake job that we were paying him for on paper. His job was the crypto guy because Dave was getting into crypto, and we had another guy named Light Switch Lou, he's also doesn't work at Barstool anymore, who's the one who knew Marty and brought him in. He was in crypto, and then at Barstool, Marty got me in the crypto, maybe a few other guys, um, and I had like the most classic story getting into Bitcoin because Marty comes along. I meet him. I'm like, what's this guy's deal? Oh, this is Bitcoin Marty. Well, what's Bitcoin? He starts telling me about Bitcoin. I'm like, all right, I'll throw a few bucks at it. Cool. Well, then it was 2017 in the fall. And so I throw like, whatever, $100 at Bitcoin. All of a sudden, my $100 is, $150 pretty quick, like within like a week or something. It was like right when it was going off. So I was like, oh, this is like, I got to get on this train now. Like this train is leaving the station, and I have to put everything I own into Bitcoin. So this is my personality. You can already tell by going all the way and golf. I take all my money that I have, all of it. Here's all the money I have, and I put it in Bitcoin. Every single dollar that I had to my name. That wasn't tied up in something else. Well, then Bitcoin starts kind of slowing down, right? It didn't crash, but it was like slowing down. I'm not talking about over the course of months. I mean, like a couple of days it was slowing down, and I wasn't getting that hit. I was like, the hit of adrenaline when it was going up. I was like watching coin marketcap.com, and all of a sudden I'm seeing Bitcoin, plus 0.04 growth, and then I'm seeing all these other coins go 32%, 25%, whatever. So I asked Marty. I say, Bitcoin Marty, what's the deal with these other coins? Why are they going up so much? Are they going to be the big ones? And I don't know, at this point, he's giving me the speech about what cryptocurrency is, what blockchain technology is, what a decentralized currency could mean for humanity. And all at this point I'm thinking about is the green plus however much percent. And he says, Caleb, dude, do not go into these altcoins. He's like, if I can give you any piece of advice, it would be hold your Bitcoin. Do not go into these altcoins. If you want to go into the altcoins, this Monero might have some value because it's, of its secret nature, and it's still, whatever. He's like, but I wouldn't even, he's like, if you want to put some money in that, okay, if you want to diversify. But he's like, I'm telling you, man, these altcoins ain't where it's at. So I said, all right, Bitcoin Marty. I said, you've got me far enough. I'm done taking your advice. You got me into Bitcoin. I've used you and your brain. Caleb's brain's taking over now. So I put all the money that was in Bitcoin, move it to the altcoins, right? And I'm not talking about like the altcoins that are, at first it was like Ripple and Ethereum. Well, then those get boring, and then you see the ones that are hitting 300%. So before you know it, I get carried away. I got all my money's tied up in these random, and I've got the ones that you have to get a download like software onto your computer just so you can get onto the exchange where they hold this coin. I was in it was like Q Cash, something that was in China, and it was like you had to download their service. I think it was called like Liquid. It has since like went out of business, and they sent an email like, if you had money here, sorry, you can no longer access it. Anyways, but all you need to know is that I've moved my money over here. Bitcoin tanks. Obviously, the altcoins tank even worse. I lost everything. I lost every dollar of everything that I had. Boom, poof, out the window, cryptocurrency. And that's how I got into Bitcoin.
All right. You're still here though. So explain
Right.
what happens after you lose everything.
I lose everything, and I have to laugh at myself because I'm like, I'm an idiot, proven time and time again, idiot. Never cease to amaze myself, idiot. Then it goes on. Bitcoin kind of goes down. I can't remember what it was at the time. I want to say it was like 4,000 or something low. And so and Bitcoin Marty, he's popular at Barstool whenever Bitcoin was going up because I think Dave had bought some, Big Cat bought some. But then Bitcoin crashes. I don't think anyone's going to say it to his face, but you kind of have a little bit of like, this guy got everyone on Bitcoin. We all lost all our money. And anyway, he ended up leaving. But I love Marty. So, and it wasn't, he wasn't fired because of Bitcoin. I think he left on his own volition. I think he took another job. But everyone, it was like freaking Bitcoin Marty lost us all this money. So probably a year later, I was like, or maybe even 6 months later, I was like, let's go get a beer and let's hang out because I haven't seen you. I miss you. So we're talking. I'm like, so what's going on with Bitcoin, dude? Like, tell me what you think now. And he just really, he talked to me about, one, how he had always felt the same thing about it. His thoughts hadn't changed. But then he's really talking to me about some of the deeper issues with Bitcoin and some of the, what he believes are some of the progresses like society could make from adopting Bitcoin. And he gave me some kind of materials I could look at and look more into. And for the first time ever, he told me about kind of the stages of currency that the United States has went through over the years, and how basically right now we're not backed up by anything. And he really kind of like put some real thoughts in my mind that were outside of just the numbers going up. And he kind of gave me some stuff to look at. So I go and I look at it and I'm doing more research. And so I start buying in a little bit, at low. And I'm like, I kind of do still think it is something. And then I kind of just slowly getting in, kind of watching it go up. And then I'm really thinking more about it. And I know your show, and this is why I'm a fan of your show, is you have experts come on and they have so much extensive knowledge of what's happening. That's not me, but I do think I have a little bit of knowledge about, or at least I have a feel. It's more of a feel thing of what's popular and trends and things that are that have legs, with what's coming up. Whether it's like we got on TikTok really early. Not really, really early, but like once we saw it, we were on TikTok. And I say me and another guy who I do a thinker account with, or a daily fact account, or something like TikTok, or even like a new band. You see something like this has legs. Something about it is exciting, and it makes sense on a lot of levels. And I could see this being big. That's kind of how I felt about Bitcoin still, and I still do to this day. And it's the main reason why I'm in it, is because I look at Bitcoin and I say, there's obviously some issues here. It's obviously very speculative, but when you look at the next generation of kids, I have a 10-year-old, 10 years younger than me brother. And his world is so different than mine with technology and all of their relationships. My little brother's really good about it, getting with his friends, being with them on a personal level. But I see his friends too. It's all phone. Everything's phone. And I'm kind of in the generation where, or my age group is, it's a lot of phone, but there's also a lot of personal interaction. 10 years younger than me, it's almost 90% phone. They talk to each other on Snapchat in the same room, or everything that's happening is digital. 10 years younger than that, they have no chance of human to human interaction how we used to do it. So I'm thinking about, all right, these kids, are they going to think about, when they think about money or they think about an asset, like I personally, and I don't know up from down, so don't take my word for it. I'm just telling you what I think. I kind of think of Bitcoin has more legs as an asset than it does as a currency, just for the reason that if I told my little brother about the value of gold, it would be the actual gold. It's like hard to get. It's like, what do you get a gold bar? It doesn't really make sense. It's not like Apple. It's not intuitive. It's like you have to do more explaining to explain to someone, this is gold, this is how you get it, this is why it's valuable, than you would have to do for Bitcoin. And pretty much at the end of the day, you're coming back to the same argument of why is why is gold valuable? If I really had to explain to my little brother or someone who's younger than him, I would eventually have to say, well, it's basically just valuable because everyone else says it is. You know, that's the same thing for Bitcoin, because there is no inherent value of, you know, holding a bar, or I think it just for people who are in the digital age, whereas people now and older than me probably think about, well, it's just digital, so it's really not there. If it's ethereal, it's floating in the air, you know, it doesn't make sense. It's not real. It's not grounded in real life. My take is that life grounded in real life is disappearing very quickly. And I think 10 years from now, 15 years from now, the amount of life that's happening as we understand it in actual, you know, it's not that there's a digital world over here on the right, and then everything that is in the digital world is just a reflection of what's happening in our actual reality. I think that the reality of what's actually happening and what actually matters is going to be almost entirely in the digital world. For example, right now, you look at like a Twitter. Twitter is a social media that you kind of report back on your thoughts about what's happening in our material world or in our reality. But then you look at something like, which I think Twitter's on the way out. I do. I hate Twitter. It's getting so terrible. I get on it because of work. If it wasn't for work, I wouldn't even be on Twitter. But TikTok, you know, I don't know where it's heading. It looks like it's kind of where with President Trump right now. But TikTok, it's not a reflection of what's going on in the real world. It is its own world. TikTok is its own entire world, similar to YouTube. YouTube is, you go into YouTube and it's like that is its own reality. It's not a report back necessarily on what's happening in the real world. So I'm just thinking about the future. I see it as that we're going to be living inside the YouTube and the TikToks and just the internet sphere. That is going to be the basis of our reality. And it makes so much more sense intuitively to have something that's a store of value like Bitcoin that exists and works with that world, opposed to a gold that, you know, I'm not saying gold's not going to be valuable, but you know, it just doesn't make quite as much, I guess, intuitive sense.